about it. Latest news. The chief executive of Salesforce says he's now the caretaker of one of the world's most important media titles. Marc Benioff has just bought Time magazine for $190 million. It's become a familiar headline as one Silicon Valley billionaire after another snaps up major media titles. A new age of newspaper barons and baronesses is underway. It harkens back, actually, to a really golden age of the media, the 19th century, when figures like William Randolph Hearst and Joseph Pulitzer became the first to rule the front pages. In the 20th century, you had the big barons of Fleet Street, Lord Beaverbrook, who dominated newsstands with his Daily Express, and Rothermere with the Daily Mail. And now, in the 21st century, it's the Silicon Valley billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Marc Benioff who are using their vast fortunes to take ownership of media companies. But why do these men want to be part of this? Brian Stelter is with me. Good to see you.
Hello.
Why do they want, what is it in it to buy the Atlantic for Steve Jobs' widow, the Time for Benioff and the Washington Post?
Maybe they've run out of things to buy, no more yachts or anything else. No, I think besides ego, which is obviously a factor here, there's also a desire to feel like they're contributing to something more, contributing to American democracy. I've heard from several tech executives who say, we're worried about our institutions, we're worried about checks and balances, we're worried, obviously, about what's happening in Washington. Owning a piece of the news is a way to contribute to this American experiment.
But what's fascinating is that they are buying traditional outlets,
right,
rather than putting their money into newfangled web, multimedia, social media. They've gone for the old stuff.
They've gone back to print, the prestigious print magazines and newspapers that they grew up reading with. And I do think that has a part to do with this. You know, folks who are now at the top of their class, now at the top of the heap, they grew up reading the Time magazines and the Washington Posts, and so they feel they're going back to those roots in some ways and wanting those publications to remain vibrant. Bezos has done a great job of investing in the Washington Post and making it a more important, more successful newspaper, a powerhouse. And well, maybe Benioff, maybe can do the same thing at
Let's talk about that, Bezos at the Post. Now, he's had a hands-off, by and large, from the newsroom.
Right.
Over the weekend, I was looking, I mean, they got the interview with the woman who's making
Kavanaugh accuser, yeah.
The Kavanaugh accuser.
Yeah.
Am I right? You're the expert. There seems to be a new energy at the Post.
There definitely is. In fact, Bezos was just there the other day, cutting a ribbon to expand the newsroom even more, to make the building even bigger. He has invested carefully, and he's focused on digital subscriptions to gain more subscribers. But look, I think the difference between those barons back then and today is that media's dissipated into 1,000 pieces. There is no one big newspaper. There's no one big outlet. So we'll see if these guys actually benefit from their investments.
Are they prepared to lose money? Now, you know, look, 190 million Benioff paid for Time.
Yes.
That is a small amount of money for a man who's worth billions.
Right.
So it's the rounding error in some cases. But even so, he still won't want to waste money.
No, and he says right now Time Magazine's very profitable, but every year it gets a little less profitable. This is a declining business. It's getting harder and harder to print magazines. It's profitable, but within a publicly traded company, it's not growing fast enough. So maybe by having a family investment here, by taking it private, essentially, right, he'll be accepting of those daily and weekly returns. This
weekend I was at the beach.
Oh yeah,
we were reading newspapers. It was
Back to the Future.
It was positively quaint.
There really is something nice when we're stuck on these all day long, just to read and print.
Good to see it. Print on the page. We love it on this program.